trying to find our campsite for the night, but Google Maps keeps taking us down all these tiny roads, dirt roads.
This is definitely some dead end.
I'm not gonna lie, we've been going at this for about an hour trying to find this campsite.
Originally, I guess our directions left off the house address or the street address. So we just went to like the middle of a field. And now that we got the right address from the website, it took us to a gate.
Yeah. So this is a weekend glamping resort, but I guess it just took us around some back way.
Okay.
I see a map over there. I think we
Forward.
finally friggin' made it. Good afternoon once again.
Hello there.
Eric and Allison coming at you again for DW Travel. We are continuing our camper van road trip now through Italy. As we mentioned in our last video, we've headed further south. We arrived to Lake Garda, which if you're not familiar with it, it is Italy's largest lake.
Yes, we left the mountains and the chilly weather behind and traded in for the last bit of summer warmth and sun. As he mentioned, Lake Garda is the largest lake in Italy and it is absolutely stunning to take in. The water is this amazing crystal clear blue. It has these beautiful rolling hills with vineyards, little villages, Italian villas speckled throughout.
The campsite that we're at today is called Glamping Resort Weekend, and it is an amazing spot. They have all these different pitches for caravans, which is what we're in right now, complete with private bathroom over there, which we'll show you guys in just a minute. But there are also all these different types of accommodations. They have these tent-like structures that look like a ton of fun to stay in. There are little smaller cabin type of structures dotted all throughout the property, some with epic lake views, some that are kind of more nestled into the woods. So we're gonna show you guys around our campsite a little bit, then we are going to cook ourselves a meal later on today. But first things first, we gotta get this baby charging.
Oh yes, the charging game begins now.
You guys, listen to the sound that the car makes. Isn't that weird?
It almost sounds like a train far off in the distance.
Yeah.
And we are charging. It always starts off saying it's going to take a full 24 hours to charge, but then it always falls down to around 14 hours. So we'll see where we land today. We thought a private bathroom, you know, maybe in the States it would probably be kind of outhouse-like.
Yeah.
But this is actually amazing.
Check this out, guys.
It's like what you would find in an apartment. Super clean, super white, a whole toilet, a whole shower, all the things, even like a towel drying rack. Ugh, gotta love Europe. We've gotten all set up at our campsite and we have our mobile kitchen here out and ready to cook with. I'm making some sort of stew. We just had a bunch of leftover vegetables from our travels, so I'm gonna put it all together in this pot and make some delicious camp dinner.
Yeah, I mean, how legit does this look? It looks like you got a little kitchen all of a sudden.
I know, it's like Allison's little cooking show. Welcome. Just take whatever vegetables you have and throw them in a pot and then make your husband eat it.
That is actually what we're doing.
As we've been mentioning, since we are doing an electric vehicle and not using gas, we've been trying to also cut down on our waste to keep our footprint as small as possible. But we have had to make some grocery runs recently, so our trash is kind of piling up. And we just added a few more products this evening. Luckily, the majority of these things are recyclable, and our host last night actually had some recycling options, so we dropped off some of our recycling. So hopefully we can find another stop along our way and drop off some more of this.
Dinner is served.
Oh yeah.
But check it out. Not too bad at all, huh?
No, it's definitely not stew. It's just noodles and pasta sauce with a bunch of veggies. All right, we're gonna eat our delicious dinner. This campsite has Wi-Fi, so we're probably gonna watch a little movie in our camper van. And then tomorrow, we are going to go visit this really cool place on Lake Garda. There's a peninsula that sticks out with a castle on it. And we are all about some castles. We'll see you there. Good night.
Good morning, everybody,
Hello there.
and welcome to Sirmione. This city is very, very special because it is not just a city by the lake. This is a city in the lake.
Yes, it sits on this skinny peninsula that goes jutting out into Lake Garda. So it is completely surrounded by this amazing green, crystal clear water.
It's also just a beautiful city. You have all these stone streets that you get to walk through, epically old, preserved buildings. They do allow cars, though, so you gotta watch out for that when you're walking and talking to a camera.
When you come to the city, you have to visit the castle, which is one of the best preserved castles in all of Italy. It was built in the 13th century and it has a man-made harbor that was actually built to protect the castle's ships. We're gonna walk around the castle for a bit and take in the views and then go explore more of the town. See myself being a princess at this castle. Maybe the queen. Who knows? You know, dream big. Little girls out there.
At the very tip of the peninsula, you're gonna find these incredible old ruins. Believe it or not, these are actually the remnants of an old villa that belonged to a Roman emperor in the years 27 BC to 1480. So these are incredibly old. They belong to Octavius Caesar. And man, that guy had some epic taste. Can you imagine building a villa on a peninsula like this, surrounded by this epic lake view?
I'm digging this little peninsula. It's so interesting because you walk into the castle, which seems very medieval, very European, and then you come back here to these olive trees and these ruins, and you all of a sudden feel very Mediterranean, and it's so warm and nice out.
It's like you stepped into ancient Rome.
I know, it's wild. We went through so many centuries in just like 10 minutes. One thing there is definitely no shortage of here in Sirmione is gelato. There is so much gelato. We decided to split one cone because, as you can see, it's as big as my whole head. But we decided to get two different flavors. So on top is speculoos and underneath is brownie.
Believe it or not, this is the small.
This is
Holy
the small. It's just so perfect. It's so warm out here. We've been walking around the city. You don't need water. You just need gelato.
And she wasn't lying. There's a gelato place here. There's one right back here. There's one through that door over there. It is on every
There's
single
one here.
corner. There's one over there. Oh my gosh. There really is so much gelato. We tried to plan ahead this time and we found a charging station in advance.
Oh, it's there, but
Oh, I see it back there.
will we be able to charge? Who the heck knows?
We even made sure it had a restaurant attached to it. This one will work, but I think this is the slower one. This should be the fast one.
Yeah, the beefy one.
We're still trying to figure this all out, but I think you gotta scan your card before you even, what does that say?
It's
Not authorized.
The cable.
I think we got this to work finally.
Okay.
We ended up having a little bit of trouble with this one, but we did figure it out. We had to just scan the card multiple times. We were able to switch it into English, which helped a little bit. We didn't have to translate everything. But now, as you can see, we are charging over here. Duration is somewhere around half an hour to 45 minutes. Alrighty, we are all charged up, back on the road, and we are gonna be trading in that lake life for the coastal life, y'all.
That is right. We are headed down the coast to the Mediterranean Sea to check out the Five Lands, or Cinque Terre, and it should be absolutely beautiful down here.
That's gonna do it for this episode of the Camper Van Road Trip. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you're gonna tune in for the next couple legs of the road trip.
There's gonna be lots of food and lots of beautiful views.
Oh yeah, much more to come.
All right,